intriguing parts of the story. Yes, it is this epic science fiction adventure, and then when you look into it and you get the underlying layers, it becomes so much more than that. And I don't think many films today have that sort of feeling behind it. And as you said, with the horror scenes and keeping all of those ideas intact, it was a challenge. And I think keeping it all together and keeping it loyal to the book and keeping all of those ideas about leadership and friendship and choices and internal struggles between people and inside themselves, it's a really, really interesting idea.
Let's talk about your relationship with Harrison's character, kind of Graf. It's quite fraught. It's quite Harrison's in the room. This is really tough. He's quite hard-edged. He's quite pushy. How did you keep that relationship on screen, and did you keep that relationship off screen so that the on-screen stuff worked? I'm so glad you're sitting next to him and I'm not with that question.
That's acting. He's a very wise young man. He understood perfectly well what was going on. We both had responsibilities to the telling of the story, and the character that I play is both manipulator and mentor, and is variously understood and seen through Ender's eyes as obstacle, as strict instructor. But the character I play is, when I play a character, I'm not interested in deciding for myself whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's a person, a character, that's charged with a certain responsibility, both, the fictional responsibility, but also responsible for playing the part. And, we had a very good casual understanding of each other, and but there was a distance between us that Gavin and I talked about. Gavin had a very clear idea of what he wanted to do, put all the kids through a kind of boot camp, space camp. There were drill instructors on the set to teach them marching cadence and all of the military behaviors that they needed to replicate on screen. And I think Asa well understood that I was there purposefully holding myself slightly away. And hopefully it was not a distraction, but an aid to the storytelling obligations that we both had.
Asa, what was that like the first day you walk in and you have a scene, presumably with Harrison, and obviously you've worked with Sir Ben before. What was that moment like?
I think the first scene was back on Earth, but I seem to remember my first time meeting Harrison was at read-through in New Orleans, all those many months ago. And when I grew up, I of course had watched the Star Wars saga and Indiana Jones, and I was very excited to meet Mr. Ford.
As is the room. We have a question from Sammy Rodden.